Martin Luther King on steroids, posted on a porn forum called Nude Africa that he's a black Nazi, expressed support for reinstating slavery, and detailed his sexual arousal from memories of peeping on women in public gyms, and he still fantasizes about it. He also has an Ashley Madison account.
How dare you kink shame?
Sure. That's a great reaction. So Josh Stein was likely to win that race anyway. If they get Mark Robinson to drop out, his name is still on the ballot. But this makes North Carolina even more in play for Democrats. And this, again, is evidence of the type of candidates that Donald Trump thinks are good for the country. Martin Luther King on steroids, someone who says he's a black Nazi.
But he would obviously.
But what?
Let's take the obvious here.
Yeah.
Do you think Trump actually knew this guy was on porn sites?
My point is that Donald Trump likes anyone who likes him, and he doesn't bother to do.
That was Jessica Toloff from Fox News. Hello, guys, and welcome back to Inside the Daily Gist. We are back again like we never left. Welcome back, guys, and thank you. Friends, we are going to be playing some clips here and there just to get into what's going on in the news. Because this guy, the North Carolina, Mark Robinson, that he is running for the governor, that Donald Trump handpicked. Yep, you heard that right? Donald Trump handpicked this guy. And I'm going to play you a clip on here and there why the Republicans are shaking right now and why Donald Trump campaign tried to distance themselves from him. But do y'all think it's too late? Let's take a listen to our CNN reported on this same guy. Then we chit chat on the other side.
Stunning report from our own K-File, which reveals the Trump-backed candidate for governor in North Carolina, Mark Robinson, has made dozens of disturbing and damning comments on a porn website. Some of the comments are frankly so disturbing that we cannot air them. But they include Robinson writing, quote, "I am a black Nazi, and I wish they would bring slavery, back." Robinson also calling himself a, quote, perv while discussing his affinity for transgender pornography. Keep in mind that he has called transgender kids sick and demonic. These comments were made between 2008 and 2012. And at this hour, Robinson is defiant, refusing to step aside. Here's the fact. Robinson's Trump's guy. This is what Trump's been saying about Robinson for years.
This is Martin Luther King on steroids. I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2. One of the great stars of the party, one of the great stars in politics, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. I'm a great supporter of his. You're incredible, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. This is a hot politician. He's a hot politician. Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. A real star, great guy. Friend of mine, Mark Robinson.
Yes, friends, that reporting was from CNN. Yeah, so how they even play Donald Trump praising Mike Robinson. So Donald Trump was the one that handpicked Mike Robinson to run for governor in North Carolina. Yeah, that was why I say I believe it's going to be hard for Donald Trump to distance himself from this same Mike Robinson, because even Donald Trump kids, yeah, y'all heard that right? Donald Trump kids, they got this to say about the same Mike Robinson.
Again, I know there's people, that I know he's too Bombay, he's too that. Man, we need that right now. I think, he was going to win the North Carolina primary, and I think, the Democrats probably funding that because, they want to believe that they can beat him or whatever it is. I was with him a couple of weeks ago in where the hell was I? I don't know. I did like a whole North Carolina tour, and I was he's a fun guy. I was in a hunting duck camp with him last year. So yeah, good guy, funny guy, not afraid to say what he's thinking, which I think we need more of. So I actually hope he wins.
Well, we know Mark very well. Amazing guy. And we do love the state. I mean, you mentioned that Laura's from there. Spent a lot of time in North Carolina. She's from Riceville Beach, Wilmington area, and we have property all over the state. And adore North Carolina, but Mark is a wonderful person, a wonderful guy, a person I'm
That was Donald Trump's children. Yeah, that was his kids. And Donald Trump surrounded themselves with Mike Robinson. That was what I said. It is going to be tough for Republicans now want to distance themselves, or for Trump campaign now want to distance themselves from Mike Robinson. Because over the weekend, Donald Trump went to North Carolina to campaign on a normal day, he will have brought Mike Robinson, but his campaign people make sure he do not campaign side by side with Mike Robinson. Ever since CNN broke the internet about what he said. But for those of y'all, for some of my friends right here that still not getting what Mike Robinson have said, that is making the news to bombard him with all this attention, let me play y'all some of his clip, then we chit chat on the other side.
Called to be led by men. God sent women out when he was supposed to do, when they had to do that thing. But when it was time to face down Goliath, sent David, not DeVita, David. The power right now. Let's say I was the governor, I had a willing legislature. We could pass a bill and say you can't have an abortion in North Carolina for any reason. In Jim Crow, you can go back and you can look at it and the record will show you. That's when black folks were at their highest. That abortion in this country is not about protecting the lives of mothers. It is about convenience. It is about abortion on demand. That is exactly what it's about. It's about killing a child because you weren't responsible enough to keep your skirt down or your pants up and not get pregnant by your own choice because you felt like getting your groove thing on. And now instead of taking care of that child, you want to kill that child so your life can go on and being on Easy Street and you can keep running to the club every Friday night. Candace Owens a few days ago and asked her, what America are we going back to make America great again? The one where women couldn't vote or black people were swinging from trees? I would say to him if I was standing in front of him, I absolutely want to go back to the America where women couldn't vote.
We are not going back.
Yes, my friends, that was Mike Robinson, a guy running to be a governor in North Carolina, a guy that was handpicked by Donald Trump. Now are you getting the sense of why he is in the news lately? Because of that he said, and because of what CNN reported. Yeah, but he is in the news and a lot of people are paying attention because according to what CNN said.
There are a lot of stories people talk about and then they really fall flat. People aren't interested in them. This is a story people are really interested in. Google searches for Mark Robinson since that K-File story broke yesterday versus the prior 24 hours. Nationally, searches for Mark Robinson up 8,540%. My goodness gracious. How about in the great state of North Carolina? Up by more than 4,000%, despite the fact that they were Googling him plenty before. The bottom line is a lot of interest in this story.
Break down the state of politics right now in the great state of North Carolina. How could this single scandal impact not just the gubernatorial race, but perhaps even the presidential race?
You look at where the polls were heading into this, right? In the presidential race, my goodness gracious, how tight it was. It was tied. I think it was like 0.2 percentage points if you didn't round it. But the bottom line is tied between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. In the governor's race, look, the Democrat Josh Stein was well ahead of Mark Robinson, up by 10 points. I think he's going to be leading by even more after this particular thing. It's the real question of how much this may impact the presidential race. And how important is the great state of North Carolina when it comes to the presidential race? Look at this. The chance of winning the election, if they win in North Carolina, it's very important. If Kamala Harris wins in North Carolina, look at that. Her chance of winning up to 95%. Donald Trump, even if he wins there, it's just 76%. But that actually says that this state is much more of a must-win for Donald Trump than is for Kamala Harris. And that's why this scandal could be so devastating to his chances in what is really a must-win state for him.
According to that report from CNN, now y'all can see it. Why Donald Trump campaign tried to distance themselves away from Mike Robinson. If y'all can see the picture right there, that was Mike Robinson when Mike Robinson was welcome on the same stage right beside Donald Trump to campaign together. But right now, they do not want anything to do with him. When I mean they, I mean Trump campaign and even the Republicans. Because the Republicans, according to the polls that you guys are looking at, has been reported on CNN, it's not looking good for the Republicans in the House, or maybe they want that seat for the Senate. And according to the poll, Donald Trump must win that North Carolina. Even if he wins North Carolina, yes, all the poll, it's still not looking good for him. So now imagine him going to lose North Carolina because of his candidate that Donald Trump handpicked. Yeah, well, friends, do y'all see why Mike Robinson is on the news lately? Election year is moving closer, and all of this is going to be coming up for us to know about the candidate. What do you guys think, my friends? Do y'all think we are going to hear Donald Trump say this now?
Never heard of him. I don't know him. I don't know him.
I don't know him very well. I have not spoken to him much. This is not a man I know well.
Yes, my friends, comment down below if you think we are going to hear some of that from Donald Trump try to distance himself from Mike Robinson, because CNN uncovered this.
And President Barack Obama in 2012 writing, quote, "I'd take Hitler over any of the shit that's in Washington right now." Another disturbing post, Robinson defended slavery, writing, quote, "Slavery is not that bad, and I wish they would bring back slavery. I would certainly buy a few." He also disparaged, as you mentioned, civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., using a slur to refer to him and calling him a, quote, "commie bastard." He has been vocally anti-transgender, but look at what Robinson wrote on the porn message board a decade ago, that he liked, quote, "watching transgender porn," adding, quote, "that's effing hot," and called himself a, quote, "perv." In another thread that was discussing the story of a woman who said she had been raped by her taxi driver while she was drunk, Robinson wrote, quote, "and the moral of this story, don't F a drunk white bitch."
Now y'all see why Donald Trump campaign tried to distance Donald Trump away from Mike Robinson, even though Donald Trump was the one that handpicked him. But now he's trying to distance himself from him, because over the weekend, they did not allow both of them to stay on the same stage, even though Donald Trump went to North Carolina to campaign. But not too fast, Kamala Harris' campaign said, because they just released this.
Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson.
For me, there's no compromise on abortion.
I think you're better than Martin Luther King.
We could pass a bill say you can't have an abortion in North Carolina for any reason. The abortion in this country is about killing a child because you aren't responsible enough to keep your skirt down.
I've been with him a lot. I've gotten to know him, and he's outstanding.
Donald Trump and Mark Robinson, they're both wrong for North Carolina.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Donald Trump and the Republicans, they might try to distance themselves away from Mike Robinson. But Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, they won't let them, because they got the receipt to show the American people. What do you guys think? Do y'all think it's time for the Republicans to tell Mike Robinson to step aside? Just like when the Democrat told Joe Biden to step aside. Because not that they do not appreciate Joe Biden, but the Americans want a younger version. And they listen. The Republicans, are y'all going to listen? Just like Democrat listened. Democrat listened, and they made it happen on time. Do y'all think the Republicans are going to have that gut to tell Mike Robinson to step aside? What do you guys think? Let's continue the conversation down there in the comment section. We've said this before on this platform that 2024 presidential election year, it comes for you to cast your vote. That's what I'm saying. It comes every 2 years or every 4 years, right? So this is the opportunity for you to use your power to make things happen for you. As usual, please let's continue the conversation down there in the comment section. Please let's respect ourselves while we comment. Thank you to all my return subscribers. And if you have not joined the growing community, please do not forget to do so. And thank you in advance. Bye for now.